It's your boy, J Hud, Saved by You. We did it, guys. Look, I got my bachelor's degree. It came in the mail. See it? They said, oh, when you get your undergrad, they don't put your major up there. As long as they, it's on your transcripts. I said I wanted mine's on there, but I'm cool. Social work, bachelor's in social work. We working, y'all. We working. I just want to talk a little bit about Black History Month. You know, even though I hate saying that because Black history should be taught all year round, just like it should just be regular history. It shouldn't be called Black history. You know what I'm saying? It should be history, just like everything else is history. But we don't get to call it that. So we get 28 days to say Black history. Well, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of history on what's going on with Black history because I think it's important. I don't think it's too important to know a lot of stuff that happened like centuries and years before we were born because it's information that ain't gonna help us progress nowhere. You know what I'm saying? All we need to know is we need to stick together and fight for each other. Vote for the right people to get into the politics so they can, make better decisions for people like us, people that grow up without, financial resources and a lot of opportunity, good health care, good education. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a message about sticking together and fighting for each other, then that's what we need to do because that's what it's all about. And until we learn that, we're gonna always have problems. Until we get our young kids to understand this, the ones that don't understand it, we're gonna have problems because there's a lot of young kids that's doing the right thing and they understand that as a people, we have to stick together and support each other and stop killing each other and listen to each other and stop thinking that everything is handled through violence and anger and tearing each other down. Because that's all we do. We tear each other down so easily. It ain't about that. But it's about saving our youth. This Black History Month, so I just wanted to give a few things that's known about Black history. Did you know the first bill against slavery and slave trade was written by some white guys? They were called Quakers. They were known as the society of friends, like a society of friends that felt like slavery and was it wasn't, it was injustice to the mankind. They feel like all men were equal, so they got together and they wrote the bill to abolish it, and that was the first bill to abolish slavery. So that was cool. See, it was people of other colors that helped us out. That lets you know. Just like Malcolm X had to find out that all white people are not devils when he went to Mecca. Same thing. Like you can't go around saying racist people are wrong and cops killing our youth are wrong when you're going around spitting that same venom of racism to other people too. So you have to accept everybody for who they are, and that's what I do today. I don't look at people because of what color they are. I look at people for who they are and how they present themselves to me. You know what I'm saying? And even the ones that might present a little, off. I say, maybe they don't know no better. Maybe they got to learn how to be another way. So I don't judge them until I get to know them. You know what I'm saying? Then I make my decision on if we're gonna build some kind of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Conversate or whatever. And that's how you have to be. You can't have hatred in your heart. But that was good. So the first bill was written in 1688. And now listen to this one. Don't you know when they came over there and took us? They took 12.5 million Africans shipped to the New World during this transatlantic slave trade, but only fewer than 388,000 arrived in the United States. Did you hear me? 12 million were taken from their families, separated, but only 388,000 made it. And it was legal for these people to do this to us. And that's why I get so heated when I see black people fighting with each other all the time. Like we had it so hard already, man. And maybe it's because the younger generation don't not building with the it's no connection with the older generation. Like it's like a break. Like at one time, grandmothers used to be tight with the grandkids, and everybody would talk and communicate. You would hear about the old times, and you would listen and all that stuff. Now it's like we don't do that with the kids no more. We don't tell them stories about back in the days. We don't have that family time because they're in the streets, because that's how society wanted, and people need to pay attention because this is how they want us. These laws, they want to make us separate from each other. Dad beat dad, so you can't live in the house with the mother. If she got Section 8, you can't be on the lease, so you can't live there. So that breaks up that home. Put you on welfare, so the man can't be there, so that breaks up that home. Lock man up for some nonsense for 5 years for some petty charge, so he won't be able to be a father. Then make him owe a whole bunch of child support, so he owes when he come home. Hard to get a job, hard to support his family. Like we got it so bad already, and people and these young people still out here want to hurt each other and shoot each other. And when they shoot the person looks just like them in the mirror. Like we need to stop that. Please, young people, take a look at who you hurting. Take a look at who you angry at. You wake up angry at your own people every day, but you're not angry at the people that make these laws that send out people to jail for petty crimes for 20 and 30 years. Somebody might have sold a 20 bag and got 20 years in the Fed joint, and now they working for $20 a month, and they making $1 million contract materials that's getting sent out, shipped out to prisons all over the world. We gotta wake up, man. We gotta wake up, man. Sometimes it make me so angry when I can't get through to people, when people don't want to listen to what's going on because they want to hear somebody fighting, or they want to hear somebody saying they're gonna shoot somebody on the internet. Man, we gotta stop that, man. We gotta spread love. We gotta support each other, and even the ones that's lost, we gotta help them. If they want to be found, we gotta help them. And if they don't, they just have to learn the hard way. But we can't exclude them because they're still our people. We just have to preach knowledge and wisdom and understanding to our brothers and sisters that might not know no better. So it's our job to continue to connect to the youth, not to disconnect. We have to connect to the youth. We have to start talking. We have to start building relationships so we can find out what's going on, where their head at, how they thinking, which way they want to go in life. It's important, man. It's important, man. You know, we just gotta save our youth. And the way we're gonna do that is by talking. It's about spreading positive words. About admitting my mistakes, admitting that I was wrong, and changing and doing something positive. Like I just showed y'all my bachelor's degree. I'm still going. I'm gonna go to school to get my master's, which would have been over if the COVID didn't come. We had to take a year off, but that's okay. Everything happens for a reason. I'm looking hard for since my job closed down. They just closed down, shut down. Well, one of the clinicians had passed away from COVID because they were still open at the time, and then they shut down. They didn't tell nobody it wasn't opening back up. So I have to find employment somewhere. I need to work now so I can get this thing going, so I can get these grants wrote up, so I can start doing things, so I can start trying to help these kids out here in these streets that need some guidance because believe me, they all don't want to be in the streets. Some of them feel like they don't have no choice, man. You know? They said 1 in 4 cowboys were black too, guys. Did y'all know that? Black History Month. One out of every 4 cowboys was black, but they wouldn't tell us that. You know what I'm saying? I just wish we could start teaching our kids about our own history, like all through life. I mean, that's our jobs. Even though we send them off to school, and some people are starting to homeschool now since the COVID happened, I feel like that's a good thing because now you have to be in your child's life a little more and help them. with the schoolwork or with the computer setup, and so they can learn how to do this stuff online. And I think it's better because you can be there and see what they're learning and tell them what's real and what's not. We got to tell our kids what's real because we don't want them growing up in a fake world, like thinking we have to let them know the real so they can live in reality. That's what I'm trying to say. We have to let them know that this is what it is. Ain't no Santa Claus. Ain't nobody flying on no sled, coming in, bringing them under no tree and none of that fake stuff. Christmas was about Christ being born. If you believe in God, you believe in Jesus, and that's what that's about. On the day of His birth, they just brought presents to honor Him. It ain't about money and fashion and all that stuff because see, these kids are growing up thinking that that's what Christmas is about. Some of these young kids don't even know that Christmas is about Christ. They think it's just about Christmas. You're supposed to get toys, and that's a lack of communication on our part because nobody should have to really believe that unless at babies you want them to, but you at a certain age you don't want them coming out to believing this type of stuff. We want our kids to focus and know what's going on. Pay attention to the world, pay attention to the politics, pay attention to what's going on around you because you never know. You see how all these corner stores or in our inner cities, they're owned by Arabs and stuff like that, people that live in other countries. They're taking our community from us right in front of us. And we're not doing nothing about it. They're taking the properties, all these different Arabs and Indians and Pakistani people own all these properties in the inner cities. If you guys are paying attention, if you're fortunate enough to not have to live in the hood no more, and you own your own property, that's a great thing. But try to teach somebody else that don't have theirs how to work and build their credit and fix their credit so they can get them one and get out of there too, or buy one in there too so they can rent it out or whatever. Because they're buying these houses, they're barely fixing them to the minimum where they got these bogus people coming out inspecting them and passing them when they know they're not shouldn't be passed. They shouldn't pass inspection because they're not up to date. None of these old houses in these inner cities. I could walk you around this raggedy apartment I stay in and show you all kind of problems. Trust me. And they know what they're doing, and then they get your little rent or Section 8 or people help you pay your rent. You get your little rent, and that's it. But the whole street, nobody on the street, it might be one black owner on the street, but everybody else lives in New York, lives in California, but got people managing the properties, and you send your rent to them. And they never even been to these communities. And we own nothing to them. We just paying our money to them. When you're paying rent for like $1,200, $1,300, that's a mortgage you could be paying instead of paying rent to somebody else. If you just get your credit, if your credit's messed up, fix your credit, work, save your money, get your credit right, get that money so you can get that house and pay that mortgage. So you can pay to own your own property instead of helping somebody else own their property. That's the type of stuff we have to start doing for each other instead of talking about each other. Instead of calling people ghetto, try to show them how to not be ghetto. There's nothing wrong with talking proper English. I never get that when people, why he talking proper? Because that's how we supposed to talk. You should be able to talk proper, and if you want to hang with your people and from the hood or whatever, you should be able to talk that lingo if you out in the streets doing that type of, if you're on that type of, you lit like that at that type of time. But ain't nothing wrong with talking proper. You should be educated. There's nothing wrong with being educated. We got to stop thinking it's cool to be dumb. When people go to school and they call people smart nerds and stupid, that's retarded. It should be the other way around. The people that are smart are not dumb. They're smart. You can call them nerds or dumb all you want, but I bet you in 10 to 20 years, mostly, them to be the ones that own stuff, that retire, they got property, they retire, they chilling with their grandkids, they doing the right thing. And the ones that want to be cool and smoke weed and hang out probably got good grades, but they want to get in trouble in the streets. Now they out here my age. It's me. Living in the inner city, just finishing school and trying to find a job because I still have to pay bills and I don't own nothing. Because I chose the streets and jail and drugs and that street life over going to school and being a productive member. And this is what I want these young kids to understand. Don't waste your time because I'm lucky I'm still here because a lot of people that came up with me that made the decisions I made are dead or in jail for life. And it's nothing to be proud of because I'm not proud of that. I barely talk about me being incarcerated, and I have been incarcerated half of my life, 25 years of my life, and I feel so stupid, and not because I was tough, because they locked the door behind me and I couldn't get out. Whether I was tough or soft, I had no choice. It ain't like I walked in there and said I want to do this time because I'm tough. Lock the door. No, they locked me in and they didn't let me out until it was time for me to get out. So going to jail is not cool. Being in jail is not cool. Fighting in jail is not cool. Being tough, you gotta survive. You gotta, if you don't want to die, you gotta survive. That's anybody. You turn into an animal in there if you have to. Whatever environment you in, you adapt to it. You have no choice. And that ain't no life for nobody. What's life is enjoying school, college, graduating, meeting new friends, go following your dreams, whatever you want to do in life, try to make it happen. You want to become a businessman, you want to become a musician, a film director. We have to start thinking like that. Because why can't we? We have black excellence that's doing it, but a lot of them are not connected. They spend money and they help colleges and they do this, but they don't come to the inner cities where people are really struggling or people are really poor that really need help like today. Like they need their rent, they need help with their rent. They need help with a meal. Like we have to get a connection to that low. People that are up here, we have to get that connection to the people that are down there. We have to pull them up the best we can. And that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about, and that's what I'm about. It's your boy J Hud, man. It's about saving our youth and saving our people, man, and working together, man. Black History Month. Peace.